Ladies, quick question. Could you ever see yourself dating and or being with a guy that spends more time in the mirror than you do? I want you to marinate on that one, okay? And I'm ready to lock in. Because in my last video, if you guys don't remember, we talked about the traditional masculine men and if that viewpoint has changed in the minds of many women, more specifically Filipinas. Has the thought of what is traditionally considered to be masculine changed? In reference to the types of guys that some women are now finding themselves in relationships with. And as I think about this, I often wonder, like, ladies, do you really want to be with a guy that spends more time in the mirror than you do? Now, for me, I ain't gonna lie, man. When I'm in my best shape, yo, I spend a little bit of extra time in the mirror, like, yo, Doc, you got your shit together. You know what I'm saying? But that's about it, man. Maybe extra few seconds or so, a couple of minutes or so. But when you are dating a guy who has a beauty routine that is as strenuous and tedious as yours, is that the type of guy that women are looking for now? I think they referred to them back in the day, and probably still the same, as like the metrosexual type, right? The guys who really care about skincare and all that stuff. And again, I want every guy to take care of themselves and to really, look out for themselves. I want you to be the best version of yourselves. But for me, it's like when you spend more time in the mirror than your lady do, it's kind of like, well, damn. I wonder how long it's going to take for y'all to ever go to the events, or how long y'all need to start preparing in advance before y'all actually go out to do something. I mean, skincare routine, hair care routine, but it starts to become like a tit for tat and a battle for the bathroom or the battle for mirror time. Ladies, is that something that you want in a man? And what I'm getting at is that the traditional masculine man and the transition into, again, what is now labeled as traditionally masculine or metrosexual and things like that, I do believe that this is something that you could particularly have to contend with. A guy that spends more time in the mirror than you do. A guy that cares about himself and his pure aesthetics more than yours. As in, yeah, your hair look good, but mine's look better type of dude or some shit like that. Ladies, are you trying to fight for bathroom time to get ready, whenever you guys go out on dates and shit? Because for me, I feel like that's something that you're going to have to contend with when you're dealing with the quote-unquote modern masculine man. That's what we'll refer to it as, the modern masculine dude, or what is considered to be modernly masculine. Again, I'm not saying that that is the general definition of modern masculinity. I'm just saying that traditional masculine man, the guy that keeps himself in super shape and working out and, alpha male types, versus the modern masculine, motherfucker wear makeup or some shit, or, skincare routine and hair care routine is on par with his lady. And I noticed that that's really a conversation that most women don't have. I mean, it's weird because, like, if you look at some females, right? You know what I'm saying? Depending on to what extent they've gone through to make themselves look good, what they've done with their hair and their makeup and all that stuff. That's like hours worth of work, if not more. Trust me, this coming from a guy who had to get his young lady up 2 to 3 hours before we had to be at a specific event in order for her to get herself together. Because when my young lady showers, she always wash her hair. When you wash your hair, you gotta blow dry it. You blow dry it, you gotta style it however you want to. Makeup, foundation, primers, or whatever. Whenever you, trust me, I know. And this is something that I've dealt with damn near every time we went out. And I respect it because at least I know my young lady wants to look good whenever we go out together. So again, I didn't have any issue with it. But imagine if I had to do the exact same thing, minus the hair part. But imagine if I had to go through the same thing, skincare routine and all. Does that not, ladies, does that seem like the type of guy that you want to be in a relationship with? I mean, I'm only asking because I don't know. I'm only asking because I don't know, right? Are y'all cool with being with somebody who spend more time in the mirror than you do? Now, back in the day, if that was the case and or the situation, people would like to throw out the G word or something like that in reference to describe the guy who spends too much time in the mirror. Or the V word, somebody who is super vain, right? Somebody who is feeling themselves. Somebody who is narcissistic, right? Somebody who is all about self. And I mean, cocky, arrogance, and all that stuff. If you look good, you kind of know you look good, so you can't really help it, and girls are going to naturally find themselves attracted to you. But imagine if a girl falls in love with a guy who has a 5-hour routine in comparison to her 3-hour routine of getting ready before they go out. Ladies, is that the type of guy that y'all looking for nowadays? Not necessarily me challenging the traditional masculinity of gentlemen versus the modern masculinity of gentlemen, but just simply asking a question. Piqued curiosity, right? And again, I'm only curious because, a lot of girls, Filipinas more particular, if we're talking about, where we're trending with the particular topic of modern versus traditional masculinity, you'll see them in relationships with guys who, for lack of a better term, are considered more pretty than they are handsome. Ladies, do you want to be with a pretty dude or do you want to be with a handsome, strapping, guapo young man? Or older dude, I don't know. I remember one time, and it threw me off, guys. This is why I say this shit. I remember one time I was kicking it with some friends and shit, and, I heard a girl refer to a guy as pretty. Like, that's a pretty dude. I'm thinking to myself, that doesn't sound, those aren't typical masculine terms, right? Those are not typically a masculine term that you would use to describe a dude. Handsome, like I said, strapping young fellow or whatever. But handsome, definitely. Not pretty. But when I heard that and I looked at him, I was like, I can see how you would call him pretty. I mean, dude, his hair game was insane. I give him credit where credit was due, man. Not a hair out of place. You could tell he had some touch-ups and shit to make his skin smooth across the board. I was like, you know what? I can't be mad. But she was genuinely, the girl in the group that we were hanging out with, was genuinely, like, flustered, like, really attracted to this guy. Like, dead ass, she wanted to jump them bones quick. I was like, damn. And it all comes full circle, ladies and gentlemen, and this is why we have these particular conversations. Because she was on it, though. She was like, yo, this guy is so nice looking, not a hair out of place, of course. Facial features, apparently bone structure and stuff like that played a part. Asymmetrical facing and all that stuff, that plays a part too. It's something that we don't really notice, but it's something that if you pay attention to, if your face is asymmetrical, basically meaning if I cut you in half, it's like even on both sides and shit. That's meaningful, whether you don't really pay attention to it or not. So, yeah, that was why I wanted to have this conversation, and that was why I put out my previous video. But ladies, I do want to know, Filipinas, I do want to know, could you be with a dude that spends more time getting ready in the bathroom than you do? Inquiring minds want to know, because that lets me further know of the transition between the traditional and modern versions of masculinity. Like, what you're looking for in a guy, That's pretty much what I mean when the traditional masculinity roles. What really attracts you to a guy nowadays, right? Despite personality and he's got to be a good dude and all that shit. Nah, I want to know. I want to know if you're down to get down with a guy who looks better than you. Just asking. Just asking. Alright, man. This has been a good time, man. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. You already know what to do. If you did, man, feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Do all the good things to make yourself well-versed in the content. Description area below. Patreon for all my unforeseen content. Good shit over there. Don't sleep on it. Want to get Good Doc merch, man? Hit me up in the email, man. Definitely hook you up with a t-shirt. I'm actually wearing one right now. You just can't see it. This was from my other collection, but long time ago. But we got the other collection out right now, man. Hope you guys enjoy it. If you do, go ahead and get you a couple shirts or two, man. Treat yourself, all right? But, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a Good Doc Dr. Mike TV. And with that being said, Good Doc is officially out. At least nako paalam, which means I am going now. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Sincerely do. Mahal kita. Mabuhay. Peace.